Hello, today we're going to talk about representing sample spaces and finding probability for compound events. Alright, a compound event is an event that is the compound of two or more independent events. So we've done some of this probability already, but now we're just combining two together. So we're going to go through this big long thing real quick. So the first thing is you say you have a cube and a coin. Alright? So what we have here is one could be heads, one could be tails, two could be heads, two could be tails, three could be heads, three could be tails, four heads, four tails, five heads, five tails, six heads, six tails. Alright, that's what we can get out of this example. So this would be our sample space. This is everything we can find out of this example. Alright. So, there you go. We need that, and then we're going to move on to this other thing. Alright, so that is just the sample space here. Now we're going to talk about, alright, so you have three categories here. It's going to be brass, woodwind, and what's the last one? Percussion. Alright, so we're going to make a tree diagram of this, and we say for each category you have a boy and a girl. Boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl. So if you were doing this, this would be the uniform probability model, right? So I have a 1/6 chance of getting a boy that does brass, 1/6 percentage of a girl that does brass. Alright, so it's all 1/6 chance of me picking one of those. Now a compound event would be taking this, which is an independent event, and then taking the coin and the cube and combining them together. Now let me explain how that's going to work. So we're going to take and we're going to assign different things to the cube and the coin. So we'll say the cube. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Make sure I do this right. Call 1 and 2 on the cube. If I roll 1 or 2, I'm going to call them brass. 3 or 4, we're going to call that woodwind. 5 and 6, we're going to call that percussion. I'm not going to write it all out because I'm not a good speller. Alright? That's one. That's combining our two events. This is our, So I showed you first the cube and the coin, and now I'm showing you, then I showed you the instruments and the boy girl, and now I'm combining these two events. So coin will be, heads will be girl, tails will be boy. Alright, and then you do your simulation. So let's say I simulate this. We'll go with what it says in the lesson. We'll say I simulated this whole thing 20 times. I rolled a cube and I got a coin. Alright? So I flipped a coin, rolled a cube. I got 20 different times. So 3 of those times I got a 5 or a 6 and a heads, which will be girl percussion. So all the 20 times, that's what I got right there. Girl percussion. So then I got this 3 times. So I said I did it 20 times altogether. So it'll be just 3 over 20, which is basically approximately to 1/6, which was what we had originally with the other event. So a compound event is just taking two of those events we've already done before, like we've done the cube and the coin in other videos. We've done boy, girl, and we've done like clothing and stuff like that. It's just combining them now to make a compound event. I'm gonna do some more examples of this. All right, for this first one, I say 4 flavors and 2 brands of cookies. What compound event can I put together to figure this out or to find my probability? So could I use 2 coins? No, I couldn't use 2 coins. It's not the best one to use because I have 4 and 2. So that's not the best one to use. Could I use a cube and a coin? The coin works well, but the cube has 6 and that's 4. It doesn't divide evenly. Probably the best one here is to use a spinner with 4 equal sections and a coin. So you could say your spinner, you could call it red, blue, yellow, and green, and you could apply flavors to those. So strawberry, cherry, grape, and lemon cookies. Those are some weird flavored cookies or whatever. And then your coin, you could say heads will be Hostess and tails will be new Oreo brand, I guess. Something like that. And then you have your compound event. So just split it up evenly. Another one would be, so if you had some weird number here, like not 6, if you had 6 and 3 or something like that, you could always use a spinner, because spinners you can make whatever you want. It's not exactly the same thing. And with a 3, it's really hard to do. All right, here's our example number 2. I want to know what the sample space is of 2 shirts and 3 colors. All right, this is just sample space. The sample space, like I said when we were talking about the dice or the cube and the heads and tails. The sample space is just all the outcomes you could have. You can do this different ways if you want. You can make a tree diagram if you want. For this case, I'm going to say that's small, large. I'll do small, and then just put all the colors with it. So small red, small blue, small orange. Again, you can do a tree diagram to figure out all the possible outcomes. Whatever you want. Just for this case, I'm doing this because it goes with the lesson. There you go. So you have 6 possible outcomes. The small can be in all 3 colors, and the large can be in all 3 colors. And that's your sample space. All right, and here's our last one. What could we use to simulate ninja or no ninja? So it's 2 possible outcomes. So what we could use is a coin. You could use odds and evens on a cube. A spinner wouldn't be great, but what you wouldn't want to use is generally randomated numbers for it that is greater than 1 or 2. You wouldn't want to do like 5 to 9 numbers. That doesn't work very well. Or 5 to 8. Because that gives you 3 numbers, 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. That gives you an odd number. Alright, this has been representing sample spaces and finding probability for compound events. Hope it helped think of.